The hum of the ventilation system was the only sound in Sector 7 of Meridian Station. Marcus Thorne knelt beside a damaged power coupling, his weathered hands steady despite the tremor in his chest. 3 months had passed since Elena's transport was destroyed by space pirates. Yet every quiet moment still brought her memory rushing back like a tidal wave. The 42-year-old engineer had built his life around routine since then. Work, eat, sleep, repeat. The other crew members whispered their sympathies. But Marcus preferred the solitude of the station's lower levels where broken things could be. Fixed in silence couldn't judge him. A soft, pulsing light caught his attention from the corner of his eye. Blue and silver patterns danced along the corridor wall, beautiful and impossible. Marcus stood slowly, his heart hammering as he followed the gentle glow deeper into the abandoned maintenance tunnels. He found her curled in an alcove behind a stack of old supply crates. Her skin shimmered with waves of bioluminescent light that shifted from deep blue to warm amber as she breathed. She was humanoid but clearly alien, with elongated limbs and features that seemed carved from starlight itself. "Please," she whispered, her voice carrying a melodic quality that resonated through the metal walls. "Do not report me." Marcus should have called security immediately. Station protocols were clear about unauthorized aliens aboard Meridian. Instead, he found himself stepping closer, drawn by something in her luminous eyes that mirrored his own pain. "You're hurt," he observed, noticing the dark patches where her natural light flickered weakly. "Exiled," she replied simply. "My people cast me out for questioning our isolation. I have nowhere else to go." The woman's glow pulsed erratically, and Marcus recognized the pattern of someone trying not to cry. He had felt that same desperate control every day since Elena's death. "What's your name?" he asked softly. "Kira." Her light stabilized slightly at his gentle tone. "And you are the engineer who comes here to remember." Marcus startled. "How do you know that?" "Your emotions create vibrations in the metal. Grief has a specific frequency." Kira's hand touched the wall, and soft light rippled outward from her fingertips. "I have been listening to your sorrow for weeks." Something shifted inside Marcus's chest. A crack in the wall he had built around his heart. Here was someone even more alone than he was. Someone who understood pain without needing explanations. The stations. Emergency klaxons suddenly blared through the corridors, red warning lights flashing in urgent sequences. Marcus's communicator crackled to life with panicked voices reporting, "Massive system failures across multiple sectors." "The solar storm," Marcus breathed, understanding immediately. "It's stronger than predicted." Kira stood gracefully, her entire body now glowing with brilliant white light. "I can help," she said, determination replacing the sadness in her voice. "My people are beings of energy. I understand your ship's power systems better than you might think," Marcus looked into her luminous eyes and made a choice that would change everything. "Then let's save this station together." As they ran toward the central power core, neither of them realized they were also running toward a love that would illuminate the darkest corners of space. The central power core of Meridian Station pulsed with dangerous energy as Marcus and Kira burst through the security doors. Sparks cascaded from overloaded circuits while emergency lighting cast eerie shadows across the walls. The solar storm was hitting harder than anyone had predicted, threatening to tear apart the station's protective systems. "Chief Thorne," Commander Walsh's voice cut through the chaos. "Where the hell have you been? We're losing containment on levels 4 through 7. Marcus opened his mouth to explain, but Walsh's eyes locked onto Kira behind him. The commander's face twisted with rage and disgust. "You brought that thing in here? During a crisis?" Walsh's hand moved toward his sidearm. "Security, arrest them both." "Wait." Marcus stepped protectively in front of Kira. "She can help us. Her species understands energy systems." "I don't care if she's the galaxy's greatest engineer," Walsh snarled. "No alien contamination on my station." The lights flickered ominously, and a deep rumble shook the deck plating. Kira's bioluminescence flared brighter, responding to the electromagnetic chaos around them. "Your plasma conduits are inverting," she said urgently, her her voice carrying over the alarms. The solar radiation is creating feedback loops. You have maybe 10 minutes before total cascade failure. Walsh hesitated, torn between protocol and desperation. Another violent shudder ran through the station, and several crew members were thrown to the ground. She's right, Marcus said, reading the diagnostic displays. The wave patterns match exactly what she's describing. Commander, we need her help or everyone dies. The older man's jaw worked silently before he stepped aside. Fix it, Thorne. But that thing stays under guard. Marcus nodded grimly and turned to the main console. Kira, can you interface directly with our systems? If you trust me, she replied, moving to his side. Her hand hovered over the control panel, light dancing between her fingers and the circuitry. I trust you, Marcus, said without hesitation. Surprising himself with how much he meant it, Kira placed her palms against the console, and immediately her entire body blazed with golden light. Energy flowed from her into the station's systems, stabilizing the chaotic fluctuations. Marcus worked beside her, rerouting power and adjusting plasma flow rates, while her bioluminescent patterns showed him exactly where the problems lay. There, she gasped, her glow flickering with exhaustion. The feedback loops are broken, but the storm isn't over. We need to get to the shield generators. They ran through corridors filled with frightened crew members and failing systems. In the shield control room, Marcus watched in amazement as Kira literally became one with the station's electronics, her consciousness merging with the power grid to hold their defenses together against the cosmic. Tempest, how are you doing this? He asked, awed by her sacrifice. My people were once pure energy, she explained, sweat beading on her luminous skin. We gave up physical form to become one with our technology, but I chose to remain embodied. That's why they exiled me. Marcus felt his heart break for her all over again. She had given up everything to stay true to herself, just as he was learning to do. The storm raged for 3 more hours. When it finally passed, Kira collapsed into Marcus's arms, her light dim but steady. Around them, the station hummed with renewed life. Thank you, Marcus whispered against her hair, breathing in her strange, sweet scent that reminded him of ozone and starlight. Commander Walsh appeared in the doorway, his expression unreadable. The station's safe. Your alien friend saved 3,000 lives today. He paused, conflict clear in his eyes. But regulations are regulations. She can't stay. Marcus looked down at Kira's peaceful face and felt something fierce and protective surge through him. Then I guess we'll have to find another way. The escape pod tumbled through space, its hull scarred by debris from the asteroid field that had nearly claimed their lives. Marcus struggled with the damaged controls while Kira lay unconscious in the passenger seat, her bioluminescence flickering weakly like a dying star. They had fled Meridian Station in the night after. Commander Walsh refused to reconsider his decision. Marcus had stolen the pod, knowing he was throwing away his career and probably his life. But unable to abandon the woman who had shown him what it meant to feel alive again? Come on, Kira, Marcus whispered, checking her vital signs on the medical scanner. I need you to wake up. Her eyes fluttered open, pupils dilating as they focused on his worried face. Marcus, where are we? Somewhere between dead and lucky, he replied with a weak smile. The pod took a beating getting through those asteroids. Life support is stable, but navigation is completely fried. Kira sat up slowly, her hand touching the nearest wall. Gentle light spread from her fingers as she communed with the ship's systems. The main computer core is intact, but the sensory array is damaged. We're flying blind. Can you fix it? Marcus asked, though he already knew the answer from her expression. Not without external repairs, and we don't have EVA suits. She closed her eyes, concentrating. But I can extend my senses through the hull. Feel what's around us. Marcus watched in fascination as patterns of light raced across Kira's skin like living circuits. Her breathing deepened, and suddenly the pod's interior was bathed in a soft, pulsing glow that seemed to reach beyond the metal walls into the void itself. There, she breathed. A debris field ahead, but beyond it, a habitable moon. We can make it if we're careful. We work together for the next several hours. Marcus piloting by instinct while Kira guided him through her extraordinary perception. As they navigated the treacherous path, they began to talk. Really talk. For the first time, "Tell me about Alina," Kira said gently, as Marcus adjusted their trajectory around a massive chunk of twisted metal. The question should have hurt. But somehow, Kira's presence made the memories feel less like wounds and more like treasures. She was a xenobiologist. Brilliant, fearless, always pushing boundaries. "She would have loved meeting you." Kira's light warmed at the compliment. "She sounds wonderful." "How did you meet?" "Conference on Europa." She was presenting research on crystalline life forms, and I was there fixing the environmental systems. Marcus smiled at the memory. "She cornered me afterward, demanding to know how the air recyclers worked. Said she needed to understand every aspect of life support for her deep space missions." "Love at first technical discussion?" Kira teased, her bioluminescence taking on playful golden hues. "Something like that?" Marcus's voice grew softer. "She made me feel like I was part of something bigger than just maintaining machines. Like what I did mattered." They fell into comfortable silence as the moon grew larger in their view screen. Finally, Kira spoke again. "My people believe that consciousness is just another form of energy, and energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed. Elena's love for you became part of who you are. It's still there, just changed." Marcus felt tears sting his eyes. "Is that why you chose to keep your physical form? To hold on to love?" "I chose it to experience love," Kira corrected, her hand finding his on the control stick. "My people live as pure thought, perfect and eternal and utterly without passion. I wanted to feel joy, sorrow, connection. I wanted to be imperfect and alive." Their fingers intertwined, and Marcus felt electricity that had nothing to do with Kira's alien abilities. "Are you glad you made that choice?" Kira's entire body flared with warm, rose-colored light. "Ask me again tomorrow." The pod touched down on the moon's surface with a gentle bump. Through the viewport, they could see a breathable atmosphere and rolling hills, covered in crystalline forests that caught and reflected starlight like natural prisms. "It's beautiful," Marcus whispered. "Yes," Kira agreed. But she was looking at him, not the alien landscape. Hearts Ignite, the crystalline forest sang with harmonics as wind moved through the natural formations, creating a symphony that seemed to welcome the two refugees. Marcus and Kira had spent the day repairing the pod's communication systems, working side by side in the comfortable rhythm they had developed. As evening approached, they sat by a small fire Marcus had built from dried crystal fragments that burned with clean blue flames. The light danced across Kira's skin, making her natural bioluminescence shimmer like liquid starlight. "The rescue beacon is working," Marcus reported, adjusting the final connections. "But it could be days or even weeks before anyone picks up the signal. Are you worried about being stranded with me?" Kira asked, her tone playful, but with an undercurrent of genuine concern. Marcus turned to face her fully, studying the ethereal beauty of her features in the firelight. "Honestly, no. These last few days have been the first time since Elena died that I've felt ... complete." Kira's bioluminescence pulsed softly, betraying her emotional response. "You make me feel things I never experienced among my own people. They live in perfect harmony, but there's no passion, no fire." "And what do you feel now?" Marcus asked, moving closer to her on the moss-covered ground. "Alive," she whispered, her hand reaching up to touch his cheek. "Wonderfully, terrifyingly alive." The space between them seemed to shimmer with energy as Marcus leaned down to capture her lips with his. The kiss was gentle at first, tentative, but as Kira responded with surprising warmth, it deepened into something that made the very air around them glow. "Marcus," she breathed against his mouth, her body radiating waves of rose and gold light. My people don't express love this way." "We'll go slow," he promised, his hands framing her luminous face. "I want this to be perfect for you." They moved together with infinite tenderness, each touch a revelation. Marcus marveled at the way Kira's skin felt like warm silk charged with static electricity, how her bioluminescence responded to his caresses with patterns of light that seemed to tell the story of her emotions in a language older than words. Kira gasped as he kissed the sensitive spot where her neck curved into her shoulder, her entire body flaring with brilliant white light that illuminated the crystal trees around them. "Is this what humans call ecstasy?" She whispered wonder in her voice. "This is what any two souls in love call ecstasy," Marcus replied, his own breathing ragged as she explored the planes of his chest with fingers that left trails of gentle warmth. They made love beneath the alien stars, their bodies moving in a rhythm as natural as the wind through the singing crystals. Kira's bioluminescence reached a crescendo of rainbow colors as she cried out Marcus's name, and he felt as though he was drowning in living light. Reborn in the glow of her passion, afterward they lay entwined in the soft moss. Kira's head pillowed on Marcus's chest while her skin pulsed with the satisfied golden glow of contentment. "I understand now why you chose physical form," Marcus murmured, stroking her luminous hair. "This connection, this intimacy, ... It's not just pleasure. It's communion. My people think I'm a fool for giving up transcendence," Kira replied, tracing patterns on his skin with her fingertip. "But how can perfect unity compare to this? To choosing to be vulnerable, to trust another being with your heart?" Marcus tilted her chin up so he could look into her glowing eyes. "Alina taught me that love isn't about finding someone to complete you. It's about finding someone who inspires you to complete yourself. You do that for me, Kira." Tears of liquid light gathered at the corners of her eyes. "And you've shown me that choosing love over perfection was the wisest decision I ever made." The crystal forest continued its ethereal song around them as they held each other close. Two wounded souls who had found healing in the most unexpected place. Neither of them noticed the distant pulse of an approaching rescue ship on the horizon. Two lost in the perfect moment of their connection, to worry about what tomorrow might bring. But tomorrow would come, and with it, choices that would determine whether their love could survive the challenges waiting among the stars. The rescue ship Wanderer hung in space like a beacon of hope against the starfield. But Marcus felt only dread as he watched it approach their crystalline moon. Captain Torres, an old friend from his academy days, had responded to their distress signal with characteristic efficiency. "That's our ride home," Marcus said quietly, but his voice held no enthusiasm. Kira stood beside him at the pod's viewport, her bioluminescence dim with sadness. "Home to what? They'll never accept us together, and I can't return to my people. We'll both be exiles." The communication system crackled to life. "Marcus, you crazy bastard," came Torres's familiar voice. "What the hell are you doing out here with a stolen pod?" Marcus keyed the transmitter reluctantly. "Long story, Miguel. Are you here to arrest me?" "That depends. Command wants you back. Says you're too valuable to lose over some alien romance. But there are conditions." Kira flinched at the dismissive tone, her light flickering with hurt. Marcus felt anger surge through him, protective and fierce. "What conditions?" he asked, though he already suspected the answer. "The alien stays behind. Clean slate for you, but she's classified as a security risk." Marcus closed the channel and turned to face Kira, his heart breaking at the resignation in her luminous eyes. She had already accepted defeat, prepared to sacrifice herself for his chance at redemption. "You should go," she said softly. "Your life is among the stars, fixing things, helping people. I won't take that away from you." No, the word came out harder than Marcus intended. "I'm not leaving you. Not now, not ever." Kira's glow brightened with surprise. "Marcus, be logical. What future could we have together? Two outcasts wandering the galaxy." Marcus took her hands in his, feeling the gentle warmth of her energy flowing through their connection. "The future we choose to build. Alina taught me that love isn't about playing it safe. It's about taking risks for something worth having." He opened the communication channel again. "Miguel, tell Command I appreciate the offer, but I'm resigning my commission effective immediately." "Marcus, don't be stupid. You're throwing away everything for an alien who saved 3,000 lives on Meridian Station." Marcus interrupted. "Who navigated us through an asteroid field when our sensors failed. Who loves me enough to let me go even though it would destroy her." His voice grew stronger with conviction. "If that's not worth throwing away a career for, then I've been living for the wrong things." There was a long pause before Torres spoke again, his tone softer. "You're really sure about this?" Marcus looked at Kira, whose entire body now glowed with amazed joy, tears of light streaming down her cheeks. "Never been more sure of anything in my life." "Well, hell," Torres sighed. "In that case, my ship could use a good engineer. Pay's terrible, hours are worse, but we go where we want, and answer to nobody. Interested?" Marcus laughed, the sound echoing through the pod as relief flooded through him. "Are you offering us both a job? Figure any woman who can handle your stubborn ass and save a space station might be useful to have around. But I want to meet her first. Make sure she's not some kind of shape-shifting monster." Kira giggled, a sound like silver bells that made Marcus's heart soar. "Tell him I only shapeshift on Tuesdays," she said, her bioluminescence taking on playful rainbow hues. 2 hours later, they stood in the Wanderer's cargo bay as Torres looked Kira up and down with obvious amazement. "Well, I'll be damned. You really are beautiful." No wonder Marcus lost his mind. "Thank you, Captain," Kira replied graciously, her natural glow warm and welcoming. "I promise I won't cause trouble for your crew. Trouble's our middle name, sweetheart. Question is, can you fix things when they break?" In response, Kira placed her hand on a damaged cargo loader that had been sitting inoperative for months. Light flowed from her fingers into the machine, and it hummed to life with perfect efficiency. Torres whistled appreciatively. "Welcome aboard, both of you. Hope you're ready for adventure, because boring is the one thing we definitely aren't." As the Wanderer jumped to hyperspace, Marcus stood with Kira on the observation deck, watching the stars stream past in brilliant lines of light. Her hand was warm in his, her bioluminescence steady and content. "No regrets?" she asked, leaning against his shoulder. Marcus kissed the top of her luminous head, breathing in her sweet scent. "Only one, which is that it took me so long to realize that home isn't a place. It's wherever you are." Kira's entire body flared with golden light, and Marcus knew that whatever challenges awaited them among the stars, they would face them together. Two outcasts who had found in each other not just love, but a new way to live among the infinite possibilities of the universe. Their story was just beginning.